same. For instance, if I draw a line there which is 45 degrees, it is the same line as 405 degrees and 765 degrees, so on. Okay, this is because of the repetitive nature of the sine graph, tangent graph, and the cosine graph. We can use unicircle like this. Okay, like I introduced before. Okay. Similarly, cosine graph, the standard cosine graph has a domain square bracket from 0 to 2 pi, and well, it starts from 0, 1, and when x is pi on 2, so it's 0, we have the x-axis. When x is pi, we have minus 1. Okay, and when x is pi on 3, 3 pi on 2, I have the other x-axis, and when x is 2 pi, it becomes 1 again. Okay, the best way to draw standard graph, well, is okay. I show you again in the next page how to the easiest way to draw them by hand. Okay, and look at the tangent graph. Okay, the difference in tangent graph is the period is pi, so x belongs to circle bracket, not square bracket, because we have asymptote there. That means the graph never reaches the asymptote when x is pi on 2 or x is minus pi on 2, and so the domain is a circle bracket minus pi on 2, comma pi on 2. Okay, and the period in this case is pi, which is the distance between the asymptotes. Okay, well, from the standard graph of tan x, we only can know when x is 0, tan x, tan of 0 is 0. Okay, nothing fancy with the tangent graph. Okay, sorry, tan graph. Now, okay, let me show you what you have to do in sketching the graph of the trigonometry graph. So if all you have to remember is all you have to remember is the period of y equals to sine x is x belongs to is from 0 to 2 pi with both points included. So what's happening is you just draw your axis first like this, okay, and start from here, draw a sine wave ending 2 pi, and the midpoint is pi. Okay, and the midpoint between your x-axis will be your maximum and the minimum. Okay, the value will be pi on 2 and 3 pi on 2. The y-value of your maximum and the minimum is positive 1, and the minimum is minus 1. Okay, this you just have to remember this. Okay, you just have to remember the standard graph. If the graph changes to y equals to say 200 sine 5 bracket x plus 1 and plus 25, there is, if they ask you to sketch a graph like this, we actually can somehow using our standard graph and transfer it to 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 this graph. Okay, you and I do it later. Okay, I show you it. Of well, I show you it later. Okay, it's actually very simple process to do that. Okay, now your the standard graph of your cosine is cosine x. Well, it's this one. Okay, I just do an example to draw it by hand, so no one is confused. Okay, so we label our axis. Oh, and one more thing is, when you sketching a trigonometry graph, your x-axis is always in radians form. Okay, 2 pi is 360 degrees. If you want to find the value of say 180 degrees, then it is pi. Okay, just convert it using a calculator or on a paper, but on a graph we label it in radians form. We always label it in radians form. Okay, and the reason why we always label the graph in radians form is because the mathematicians always do that. Okay, there's no real reason, just it looks more professional when you label it in radians form. Okay, and well, the engineers, mathematicians use to label it in radians form. Okay, now let's sketch cosine graph. Cosine graph and sine graph are similar shape, but they have like well, a different it's like we shift the sine graph a quarter period to the left, and we have this shape which is a cosine graph. Okay, just what you need to remember, just when cosine of 0 is 1, okay, and your ending point which is 2 pi, the domain is x belongs to from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, and the midpoint, when x is pi, we have our minimum point, and between the maximum point and the minimum point is pi on 2. Okay, and we have our x-axis, and one of the x-axis, and the other x-axis lays in between pi and 2 pi. Okay, which is 3 pi on 2. Okay, yeah, and you just have to again please memorize how to draw this graph. It's very simple, and in math method you have to do that. Okay, now in a tangent graph, I draw it on by hand. Okay, what I need to do is draw two of the asymptotes and label them. Okay, I label this one pi on 2, I label the other one minus pi on 2, and I draw a line like this going through the origin. So, okay, yep, it's okay. It is hard to draw on a graphic tablet, so yep, okay, something like this. Okay, and this is your y equals tangent x, and the domain is circle bracket. Okay, minus pi to minus pi on 2 to positive pi on 2. Okay, so circle bracket again. Okay, so yep, that's it. What's happened? Yep. Okay, let me. Okay, let me show you what we need to do next. Okay, in okay in math method, sometimes they will going to ask you to sketch a graph of y equals to, for example, 2 cos x plus 5, something like this. Okay, and we can, I told you before, and we can somehow transform the standard cosine x to fit this equation there. Okay, and we do that by using the method transformation. Okay, and you have to understand how to do transformation in order to sketch a trigonometry graph. So in the next tutorial, I will spend, I think, 30 to maybe an hour or 30 minutes, depending on the progress, to show you how to do transformation. Okay. So, okay, thank you.